Good morning, everyone. Today, Saturday, the 31st of January, the last day of the month, January 2026. Since the new year, 1 month passed. And within this 1 month past, we have to reflect that what have we done? So this is one of the activities that we have been doing: morning chanting, reflection and meditation, at least over an hour a day, morning and evening. So about 3 hours per day, to show our respect to the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, veneration to the great Buddha who compassionately bestowed the blessings upon us. Reflecting his teachings, which is timeless and highly respected. A wise one would understand, and the community of the Sangha who are working hard to study and practice in the meantime serving the community. So despite the hardship, we have been doing these things regularly, continuously. The similar way as New Year just finishes, we all have a different plans and different wishes in this year. So checking and reflecting on that, our wishes and plans, that what have we done and what have we achieved and what are the next moves. Like our center, this year's main agenda would be the consecration of the building, the Bosata Hall, by inviting monks from different parts of the world, particularly UK, Europe, America, and Thailand and Singapore, which is taking place on 17th of May. So we do not have much time left to prepare things. So far, some monks and other lay members have confirmed their arrival for the celebration. Many still haven't confirmed. In the meantime, from our part, there are certain things that we have to complete, still ongoing. So prioritizing the job is very key for the success in our life. So the Buddha talked about that for the success First of all, we have to create the desire, wish, want. And this desire leads to the further action. But if we have a desire that is not that exciting, not that purposeful, then the effort to work would be less. And avoidance will increase. Whereas if we have there's a strong desire and a purpose and working towards it continuously, doesn't matter the work takes many years to complete, or there is no light at the end of the tunnel, then we would not be happy to invest our physical body. So this is the fact, and this is how we have been living like that. And with that effort that we apply in our day-to-day life, and working towards it bit by bit, we continue working in such a way, eventually brings us to the closer and closer to the intended tasks. Having said that, doesn't mean that there won't be any laziness, there won't be any desire to discontinue or change of mind. It's always possible. So, which is the reason why the Buddha encouraged us not only we have a desire and we put an effort continuously, but also we have to have some understanding of these events, both internal and external. So when we are conscious and reflecting on that mindfully, on those reactions and efforts and changes, then it will always keeps us online, in line, on the job that we are intended to do. Basically, consciously conscious about the task that we have taken on board. Now this is a very important part, so that we won't lose the track. Having said that, doesn't mean that we want to change our work, we want to change our plan, we want to change a desire. There is possibility at any time, at any moment, one can give up those plans. And meantime, not only the plan, there's always possibility that physical changes that occur in us can be another factor for the discontinued job. Such as like someone who had a plan to do certain things and suddenly become ill. Then we can't do anything, like a Prakongsi in Alawa. She has many plans. But suddenly after a fall from the stairs, she's unable to function normally. Despite of a desire wanting to go to work and get some help, she could not. And that inability simply because of the physical change that took place. So in us too, sometimes due to certain reasons, we become ill and we can't continue the task that we have on board. Another time could be environmental change cause the trouble, which is again beyond our capability, beyond our control. So those cases again, we may be discouraged to continue. Such as like during the time of the COVID, or even just like early this month, due to the snow, we had to close the center. No one could come. So with that, again, we may have a good plan and we may have a good effort to do it, but the circumstances are not suitable. So it's very important to be mindful, consciously aware of these changes. Further on, our mind also changes. Particularly our mind, it changes so fast. It's very hard to control, very hard to observe. It's always flickering and always changing. Doesn't matter how much you made a vow, or doesn't matter how much you decided. But end of the day, the change is always possible and most likely possible. Such as someone is in a relationship with someone. During the time they have met together and working or living together, doing things together, can be very exciting, very fulfilling. Seems like a perfect moment, a perfect partners. But unfortunately, due to some reasons, it will change, or it has changed. The mind changed. So with the change, inner change, then again, doesn't matter how much they are in love, eventually breakdown comes to the end of this relationship. Doesn't matter how many vows you have taken, those vows becomes invalid straight away, and you move on. So these are the factors that causes the discontinuing. So as a result, whichever situation we are in, whichever conditions and environment we are at that very moment, we just need to reflect the task that we have taken, and the work that we have been working, measurement that we are doing on that. And this allows us to be mindful of the actions or the task that we have taken on board, and conscious about the act that I have been doing, so your mind will not be changed, not shaken by any other things. There's a firm intention to finish the work, and as a result, be complete. And we have understood ins and outs of it. Ins and out of it. So that's why the Buddha also further said that when we have intention to achieve something, we have to fully dedicate on it. And then that dedication brings the fruit. Now we can relate to his own life, the Buddha's life. As we know, that after he met the Dipankara Buddha, he made the vow to be the Buddha in the future. So ever since he was predicted and accepted as and confirmed as the Bodhisattva, one Buddha to be, he never gave up his effort, his plan. Doesn't matter which life he was born. According to the scripture, we know that it was for uncountable kalpas and 100,000 kalpas. That's a long, long time. Very long time. It's like just a counting may take a years. But the Buddha took births many, many hundreds or thousands of times after he was predicted. We are not talking about before his predictions. There are uncountable rebirths that he had taken before that. And before that, he didn't have a purpose in his life. So the purpose in his life was simply get the job, do the thing, and save the family. That would be, I think, the first task. That's all, which all humans are doing same thing at all the time. We don't have a purpose. Our purpose is only in this worldly world. How to earn, how to support, and how to live. That's all. And actually that's not the end, and yet we do not want to think about other things. So in his life also, he was probably just concerned about his own life, the lifespan that he had, and then just looking after whoever came into his life during that time, and mostly only focused on the current life that he was living. Whereas after he was confirmed by the Buddha Dipankara that he will be the Buddha in the future as he wished or as he made that vow, from that on he had only one object in his life. Doesn't matter when he's going to be enlightened. So he kept that desire and kept working on it and continuously reflecting on that again and again, every life that he was born in a different realms higher than the humans. Humans or higher than humans. So during this time, his intention wasn't changed. During this time, his practice didn't change. During this time, he was consciously aware, knowingly or unknowingly, the task that he has taken. Which is the reason when we read the Jataka stories, the previous lives of the Buddha, one thing in common in most of or almost all the Jatakas, that he was a man of word. He was a man of a word. Doesn't change. Whichever life he was reborn, he never changed. Once he has said, once he had decided, which is again not, it doesn't mean that sometimes it took him a long time to come to the right path with the help of friends or sometimes due to the trauma, and become an ascetic and work, or become a spiritualist and works towards the liberation. But he never changed. He never changed his desire to be the Buddha. And which is the reason after 4 uncountable and 100,000 kalpas, when he was born as a Prince Siddhartha, despite of the luxurious life that he had, despite the born in a royal family, elite family, despite of having all comforts one could wish for in their lives, he realized that this is not the end of this journey. Just being born in one family and having these comforts was not the end of the journey that he thought. And that's the reason why, again, for the last time, went out in search of this truth. So according to the legendary, it suggests that he left midnight. He left the palace in midnight and went on practicing, studying, simply hoping to be enlightened. And every time when he attained the highest of the highest in each institution, he realized that that was not the end of the journey. There's something more than that out there. Having practiced with other institutions and studied hard to get up to the top of their own philosophies, then he realized that these are not the path to the liberation. These have good qualities and helpful, but not the end of it. So as a result of that, he himself taken the very strange effort to pursue by himself, and as a result he went and stayed in the forests simply to practice and to attain the intended task that he had taken long time ago. But his continuity and consistency of the practice never faded, which is the reason he was succeeded. Similarly, in our life too, doesn't matter what vow we taken, doesn't matter how much effort we have been applying, we always need to be conscious of this changing nature and ability to maintain the task in hand, and working towards it bit by bit. May not be a lot, but a little bit. And that little later on becomes many. When it becomes a many, then obviously it brings the success. So if we really want to shape ourselves, we have to do bit by bit. But consistency is the key. Because our mind In order to change its activities, we have to do it regularly, one by one, regularly, bit by bit. If you want to change suddenly, it's very unlikely and very difficult. Unless the severe things happen, then you can change it straight away. Like there is a gentleman, John, Prani's wife, Prani's husband. He smoked from age of 16. Never stopped until after 60s. 70s, not after 70s, when he had a complication in his physical body. The doctors told him that if he didn't change, then he will die sooner. So if you want to leave, quit. The very next day, he quit. So like that, it's possible change, immediate, but in average humans, in order to change it, we have to do it regularly for some times. In psychology says you need 21 days to change one behavior. And that's exactly the practice that we have to think about in the cultivation of the Dhamma. If we are doing it regularly, bit by bit, bit by bit, this regular doing changes without we knowing it. And the change, you may not be able to see it, but other people will be noticing those changes. And that change starts from a physical complexion, physical presenceness with other people, and the helpfulness of this physical body to other people. Much calmer, much grounded people will recognize in you. Similarly, speech from the house speaker, abusive speaker, the tone will change, the voice will change, the words will change. They will be full of loving kindness and compassion. Without knowing, they will change if we have followed the small positive tasks. And obviously that changes the mind, the mental state. So which is the reason why we are always encouraged to practice, not a lot, but little by little. So which is the reason why we try to do this morning chanting, reflection and the meditation, maybe a little bit, but if you put together, it's a lot. In one day, it's like 3 hours, almost to the 3 hours. For Gavin, it's like almost 6 hours. Has to wake up early morning and drive up here before the chanting, and then again after chanting, still here. So it's like a half a day. You are in a good position, doing good thing. So that shapes, that changes. And gradually we see the value in our life. We may not see it now yet, because we still don't know what we want to be, what we want in this life. Not like the Buddha, that he wanted to be the Buddha and eventually he became the Buddha. We may want to be enlightened, but the tasks or the effort that we have been applying may not be sufficient enough to it, or our desire to enlighten may not be confirmed yet. There's a mixture of desire and other things, and probably desire to be enlightened maybe 5% and 95% are something else. But yet we are working on this task. And then we can see that there are achievements in our own life and becoming a good man, good person. Mind became much clearer, stable, focused. So that is the reason we are here to practice, not only to pay respect to the Buddha, not a form as asking for help from him, but as a significant symbol that one who has walked on the path, this difficult task, and succeeded. So we too will be able to walk on this path and liberate. As he said, he is the only pathfinder and shown to us. He has given the map to us. It's up to us to walk on this map and to be liberated. So thank you everyone for coming and attending in person as well as online regularly to do this morning and evening chanting, reflecting and meditating. So this is how we change our mindset towards the spiritual gain. So I wish you all the best and may you all be well and happy.